I'm going to attempt to beat Ranrok, the final boss in Hogwarts Legacy, by only damaging him with plants. Herbomancy is one of the strongest builds in Hogwarts Legacy. It's so strong that I was able to very easily defeat all the strong boss fights leading up to Ranrok. But Herbomancy has two very serious weaknesses. The first is the limited number of plants I can carry, which is only 12 of each plant. And the other is that my strongest plant, my cabbages, can't attack very high above the ground, and Ranrok is a flying enemy. If you want to know how my Herbomancer got this strong and how you can do it yourself, check out my video linked in the pinned comment, and let's get this fight started. Okay, so during the fight there's going to be some parts where I'm going to chime in and let you know what I'm doing and why, because there's a few things that I do that are definitely going to look odd and kind of confusing, and I'll explain that. And there's going to be some other parts during the video where I'm just going to stay quiet and just let you enjoy the fight. So Ranrock's positioning is going to be very important for this fight. During this phase of the fight, there's two spots that he can hover above, and I'm going to need him to be in the left side spot in order for me to actually do damage to him. So what I do is I wait until he's on the right side to destroy the orb, and then I set all of my plants up so that when he moves back over to the left side, they're ready to start firing immediately. You might be wondering, why are you throwing all of your plants off of the cliff? And the reason why is that the Venomous Tentacula has terrible targeting on Ranrok. They fire for like the tip of his tail, and they miss almost every single shot. So what I do is I throw the plants off the cliff so that they're firing at Ranrok from a low ground position. So when they miss his tail, the shot keeps going and manages to hit him in the body, allowing them to actually do damage during this part of the fight. Alright, that's phase 1 completed, and we only had to use 4 Venomous Tentaculas in order to beat Ranrok there. We're moving on to phase 2 now, and when we get to phase 2, it's actually going to happen a lot faster than phase 1, so just really keep an eye on what's happening because the fight is really going to be over before you know it. Ranrok makes a pretty crucial error during this phase of the fight because he lets his tail get a little bit too close to the ground. And my Chinese chopping cabbages might not be able to get that high off the ground, but they can leap a good 3 or 4 feet off the ground, and they just chomp his tail until he is done. Phase 2 is easy. So now we're going to be headed on to phase 3, and phase 3 is definitely the most difficult phase of the fight, and you'll see why in just a second. During phase 3, I don't have anywhere to throw my cabbages where they can get to Ranrock's tail. I have tried throwing my Venomous Tentaculas off the cliff, but there's nowhere for them to land, so my only choice is to try and take him out of the air and get him grounded by only using the damage from Mandrakes. Luckily for me, Mandrakes do quite a bit of damage when you've built your entire character around being able to do damage with plants. So we're going to be able to get him down, it's just going to take a while. I'm going to call this phase 4, even though he didn't have a little line on his health bar to signify how much damage you need to do to get him to land. But during phase 4, he lands on the ground, and it's really over for him at this point, because all I have to do is throw my Chinese chomping cabbages down and destroy his orbs so that he is vulnerable to damage. And they are just going to rip him to pieces so fast. So Ranrok gets absolutely ripped to pieces by the chomping cabbages, and I have never beaten this fight before, so I thought the fight was over when that happened, and when he came down and landed, I actually was taking my hands off the keyboard because I thought it was going to go into a cutscene, and then he chunked me down to like 20% HP. So I threw my hands back on the keyboard and mouse real quick and actually finished the fight out. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I was assuming it was just going to be to take out some more orbs and bring his health bar back down. So you can see I'm like still throwing chomping Chinese cabbages, trying to make sure they're ready to attack him when he is vulnerable again. But you just have to take the orbs out. You don't have to do any more damage, you just have to get rid of the orbs. And this fight is over. We only did damage with plants. I used 4 Venomous Tentacula, 8 Chinese Chomping Cabbages, 9 Mandrakes, and go ahead and check out this video here to see how I put this build together, and I'll see you next time.